live from our studios on Karaba Avenue. This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. And I am Jul Dejai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. The ECOWAS Community Court of Justice is on a sensitization mission in the Gambia to raise awareness about its mandate and improve access to justice in the region. And the National Council for Civic Education has reminded the public that voter registration centers are not places for resolving disputes, urging citizens to channel concerns through legal processes. The European Union launched the Interreg MAC 2021-2027 program in the Gambia on Wednesday, bringing together delegates from Spain and other partner regions to present newly approved development projects. And the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, in collaboration with its partners, is facilitating a 5-day training for officials from the Gambia Immigration Department on the practical implementation of standard operating procedures for managing migrant smuggling cases in the Gambia. And the Young Mathematicians Association of the Gambia hosted the 5th edition of its annual mathematics quiz competition at the University of the Gambia Law Faculty in Kanifing. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is the Qtv Nightly News. Now, the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice is on a sensitization mission in the Gambia to raise awareness about its mandate and improve access to justice in the region. At a formal opening ceremony today, stakeholders recognized its role in promoting human rights while calling for effective implementation of the court's ruling by member states. Aliou Cisse attends, and this is his report.
2001, the court is the principal judicial organ of ECOWAS. It interprets community laws and settles disputes between member states and institutions. In 2005, its mandate was expanded to include human rights cases, allowing individuals to directly seek justice beyond national courts. Over the years, the court has become a key institution in promoting the rule of law, human rights, and regional integration. However, awareness of its work and the enforcement of some of its judgments remains limited in many countries, including the Gambia. Dr. Yauzi Uru Sama, Chief Registrar at the ECOWAS Court of Justice, thanked President Barrow's government for supporting the initiative, describing it as the court's first major public engagement in the country, which was attended by representatives of civil society, the legal fraternity, and academia, among others.
While the Community Court focuses on interpreting the ECOWAS Treaty, enforcing human rights, and applying international legal instruments with final and non-appealable decision, National Court remain the primary venues for handling domestic legal matters and interpreting national law and constitutions.
Hussein Tomasi, the Gambia's Solicitor General, deputizing for the Justice Minister, said the engagement is both timely and relevant, as it complements the Gambia's transitional justice process and strengthens access to justice. The Minister of Regional Integration, Motke Sise, says the engagement reflects a shared commitment to deepen understanding of ECOWAS institutions.
We view regional mechanisms like the ECOWAS Court not as alternatives, but as indispensable complements to our national systems.
Its mandate goes beyond the interpretation and application of community laws. It is a critical instrument for upholding the rule of law, promoting accountability, and protecting the fundamental rights of citizens.
Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, the Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly, called for stronger compliance with ECOWAS protocols.
This mission provides an opportunity for us to reflect on our national obligations and to strengthen the mechanisms for compliance, ensuring that justice delivered at the regional level is justice realized at the local level.
Speaking Portuguese, the President of the ECOWAS Court of Justice, Justice Ricardo Claudio Monteiro Gonçalves, said the court has strengthened democratic governance, ensured reparations for victims, and promoted accountability in member states. He, however, pointed to ongoing challenges, particularly the failure of some member states to fully comply with court decisions. He stressed that the effectiveness of the court depends largely on the political will of governments. This is a point the president of the court has been stressing recently, including at an event in Abuja in January of this year. The Chief Justice of the Gambia, Justice Hassan B. Jallow, reaffirmed Gambia's commitment to the court. He advocated the integration of the court's work into legal education to build future capacity.
And this would help familiarize law students early on in the early stages of their career and their studies with regional justice mechanisms and how to access them.
In the coming 2 days, the mission will engage lawyers, law students, and judges in separate engagements. It is expected that at the end of the mission, stakeholders will be better informed about the work and mandate of the court. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The National Council for Civic Education, NCCE, has reminded the public that voter registration centers are not places for resolving disputes, urging citizens to channel concerns through legal processes. It says any objections should be handled by revising courts once the provisional voter list is published. Usman Jatta has the details.
The brief detention and eventual release without charge of Latrikunda's Sabiji lawmaker Yaya Menten Sanyang over allegations that he attempted to register minors using forged birth certificates, claims he denies, has heightened political tensions during the ongoing supplementary voter registration exercise. Amid this backdrop, and other reports and allegations of non-eligible voters attempting to register, the NCCE has raised concern over the disputes at registration centers and the increase in circulation of personal information on social media. The Council says such confrontations are unnecessary and risk undermining what should be a smooth and orderly process. It stresses that registration centers are designated solely for voter registration and card issuance and not for resolving disputes or registering complaints. According to the NCCE, individuals who wish to challenge a registration should do so through the revising courts after the provisional voter list is published. The Council also warns against sharing personal data online, including identification documents and unverified claims about individuals' eligibility. It says such actions breach privacy rights and may expose individuals to harassment or harm. Citizens, including political actors, are urged to verify information before sharing it and to avoid what the Council described as digital vigilantism. At the same time, the NCCE cautions that fraudulent registration is a criminal offence under electoral laws, punishable by fines of up to $500,000, imprisonment or disqualification from voting. Calling for calm, the Council urges all stakeholders, including party agents and observers, to act responsibly, noting that while observation is a right, it must not obstruct officials or intimidate voters or those seeking to register. The NCCE is also calling for closer cooperation among institutions, particularly those responsible for issuing identification documents, to help ensure a credible, transparent and peaceful electoral process. Osman Jatta, QTV News.
The European Union launched the Interreg MAC 2021-2027 program in the Gambia on Wednesday, bringing together delegates from Spain and other partner regions to present newly approved development projects designed to strengthen regional cooperation. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
The program, supported by the European Regional Development Fund, aims to strengthen cooperation between European outermost regions such as the Canary Islands, an autonomous region of Spain, off the coast of Northwest Africa, which is a popular landing point for irregular migrants and African countries. Officials say the initiative will promote regional integration, innovation and sustainable development, while also addressing key issues such as irregular migration, public sector efficiency and business growth. Luis Pandia, Director General for Relations with Africa for the Canary Islands government, highlighted the program's long-term benefits and its role in strengthening cross-border partnerships.
It is strategic. It is strengthening our collective capacity to respond to shared challenges and to build a more sustainable, resilient and prosperous cooperation area.
Violeta Insa Sandoval, Chargé d'Affaires at the Spain's embassy in the Gambia, emphasized the importance of the initiative.
Let me take this opportunity today to reiterate our commitment to continue to work together with the Gambia to address all these challenges, just as we have been doing throughout these years, because as you know, Gambia is a very valuable partner for Spain and for the Canary Islands.
6 projects have been approved, focusing on governance, migration management, business development and environmental sustainability. The decisions were taken during a steering committee meeting held in Madeira, June 2024. Andrew Silva is the EU-Gambia Partnership Officer.
We just finished evaluating 16 other new projects, which will be approved by the MAC Secretariat in due course. So there's growing interest for the MAC project in the Gambia.
Rafael Brigandi, Deputy Head of Mission at the EU delegation to the Gambia, emphasized the need for joint solutions to migration challenges.
So migration can and is actually often and usually a win-win dynamic. And however, it needs to be managed and regulated properly through clear policies and coordinated action.
Lamin Singate is the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
The areas of intervention of these projects will go a long way in complementing the efforts of the Gambia in meeting its development aspirations for the people of the Gambia as postulated in the Recovery-Focused National Development Plan, YIRUA 2023 to 2027.
As the implementation begins, the program is expected to play a crucial role in promoting economic resilience, improving governance and strengthening ties between Europe and West Africa. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national news stories for you. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the QTV Nightly News with me, Jul Denjai. Now to the rest of our stories. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, in collaboration with the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, is supporting a 5-day training program for Gambia Immigration Department officials on the operational application of the standard operating procedures for handling migrant smuggling cases in the Gambia. Here is Jacqueline Colley.
Migrant smuggling, which facilitates taking migrants into a country by irregular means, commonly referred to in the Gambia as the bagway, has surged as the country has become a key strategic departure point for the perilous Atlantic and Mediterranean route to Spain's Canary Islands. The training held under the Promise Project is designed to strengthen the institutional capacity of the Gambia Immigration Department in effectively responding to migrant smuggling cases. It brings together immigration officers and relevant stakeholders to enhance their understanding and practical application of SOPs in line with international standards. The initiative focuses on improving participants' technical skill in identifying, investigating, and managing cases of migrant smuggling while protecting migrants' rights. Here is Commissioner Suleiman Kujabi, the Commissioner of Operations at the Gambia Immigration Department.
The effective implementation of this SOP will not only strengthen law enforcement responses, but also ensure that the dignity, rights, and protection of migrants are upheld at all times. Professionalism, coordination, and strict adherence to legal and ethical standards must guide our actions.
Facilitators guide participants through real-life scenarios and case studies to build their capacity to be able to handle complex cases with professionalism and efficiency. Abimbola Adewomi, the project coordinator, elaborates on these points.
As we know, smuggling of migrants cases often presents complex operational protection and legal challenges. This makes it essential that responses are guided by clear procedures, sound judgment, interagency cooperation, because it's not something that only GID can do. Every other agency also needs to support them to ensure that we have full respect for human rights, including the rights of the migrants that are in vulnerable situations.
The Promise project, jointly implemented by UNODC and OHCHR, seeks to promote safe migration and strengthen criminal justice responses to migrant smuggling and related human rights concerns. The training is part of the ongoing efforts to equip national institutions with the tools and knowledge needed to address transnational organized crime. Here is Chief Superintendent Musa M. Fati, a participant highlighting the timeliness of the training.
So this training, will help officers because sometimes it's very difficult. If you look at the hall here, we have less than 50 people that are on training. And then these are people who are drawn from different borders across the country. So once they are capacitized, they will go back to their various duty stations and also try to, replicate such training to their colleagues who doesn't have the opportunity to be here. And this will help them to be able to handle migrants, especially the smuggled migrants.
At the end of the 5-day session, participants are expected to have gained practical skills that will enhance their operational effectiveness and contribute to a more coordinated national response to migrant smuggling in the Gambia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Koli.
The Young Mathematicians Association of the Gambia hosted the 5th edition of its annual mathematics quiz competition at the University of the Gambia Law Faculty in Kanifing. The event, attended by renowned academics, scholars and diplomats, aims to inspire and boost students' interest in mathematics. Here is Ansumana Esonyasi.
The annual mathematics quiz competition has grown in prominence and continues to attract students, educators and stakeholders in the education sector with a shared goal of promoting mathematics as a critical tool for national development. At this 5th edition, which saw 26 senior secondary schools within the Greater Banjul area and beyond competing for the first prize, Dr. Ibrahima Bitey, founder of the association, and Ms. Fatou Bitey, Director of Science and Technology at MOPSI, underscored the central role mathematics play in shaping innovation, economic growth and scientific advancement. They also highlighted government commitment to promoting STEM education in the Gambia.
You are the reason why we are here today. The platform has been created for you to challenge yourselves, to demonstrate your knowledge, and to build confidence in your abilities. Remember that success in mathematics is not only about getting the correct answer, but about persistence, discipline, teamwork, and the willingness to learn from mistakes.
Mathematics helps us to organize, plan, and make the better decisions in our homes every day. This means that mathematics is not just a subject in the school. It is a tool for national transformation. To our educators here present, including myself, our role is central to this transformation.
Guest speaker Zhao Shangshen, Deputy Ambassador at China's Embassy in the Gambia, reiterated China's commitment to continue supporting the Gambia's education sector, particularly STEM areas.
Mathematics is about logic. Mathematics is about reasoning. It is about problem solving. It's about solution. All these are the foundations of all cutting-edge technologies. Without these foundations, nothing can happen. So that is why I would like to commend the Young Mathematician Associations for what they have been doing over the past 5 years. This is crucially important.
Our CHAM, Vice President of the association, also thanked school administrators and their partners, such as China's Embassy, for their continued support.
This competition is more than just an event. It is a platform where talents are discovered, where friendships are built and where future mathematicians, doctors, engineers, scientists, and innovators begin to find their path.
Ramotulai Jallo, President of the Association, and Dr. Malik Salah, Chief Judge of the 5th edition, provided an overview of the competition. Other speakers included Bouakar Toure and Haruna Baji, who shared personal testimonies about how the competition impacted their academic journeys. In a show of appreciation, several media houses, including QTV, were also recognized for their consistent support for the competition over the years. Ansmane Sonyase for Qtv News.
Today, the Gambia joins the rest of the world in marking International Mother Earth Day, a global event dedicated to raising awareness about environmental protection and strengthening humanity's relationship with the planet. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
First established in 2009 by the United Nations General Assembly, the day was born out of the revolution introduced by Bolivia and supported by more than 50 member states. The revolution emphasizes a powerful message that the earth and its ecosystems are not just resources to be used, but a shared home that requires care, respect, and balance. By adopting the term Mother Earth, the United Nations highlights the deep interdependence between humans, other living species, and the natural world. Speaking at the first time of its creation, Miguel de Escoto Brockman, an American-born Nicaraguan diplomat, political and Catholic priest, and president of the United Nations General Assembly, described the day as a call for inclusiveness and shared responsibility. He stressed that rebuilding humanity's fragile relationship with nature is a global mission, one that transcends border and unites people in a common cause. This year's theme, Our Power, Our Planet, reinforces a simple but urgent truth. Every individual has a role to play in shaping the future of the earth. From small daily actions to large-scale policy changes, collective effort remains key to protecting the environment. Globally, the message of this year's observance is particularly urgent. Scientists warn that ecosystems are under increasing threat from climate change, with rising temperatures contributing to devastating wildfires, floods, and powerful storms. At the same time, habitat destruction driven largely by human activities has placed more than 1 million species of plants and animals at risk of extinction. These environmental disruptions are also linked to the rise of new diseases, as closer contact between humans and wildlife creates pathways for outbreaks. As the Gambia stands in solidarity with the global community, the message is clear. Safeguarding the earth is not optional, it is essential. The well-being of future generations depend on the choices made today to restore humanity with nature and protect the only home humanity has ever known. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
The report by Yafatu Gay brings us to the end of this news bulletin. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. The ECOWAS Community Court of Justice is on a sensitization mission in the Gambia to raise awareness about its mandate and improve access to justice in the region. The National Council for Civic Education, NCCE, has reminded the public that voter registration centers are not places for resolving disputes, urging citizens to channel concerns through legal processes. The European Union launched the Interreg MAC 2021-2027 program in the Gambia on Wednesday, bringing together delegates from Spain and other partner regions to present newly approved development projects. And the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, in collaboration with its partners, is facilitating a 5-day training for officials from the Gambia Immigration Department on the practical implementation of standard operating procedures for managing migrant smuggling cases in the Gambia. And the Young Mathematicians Association of the Gambia hosted the 5th edition of its annual mathematics quiz competition at the University of the Gambia Law Faculty in Kanifing. This is all we have for you in this edition of the News Bulletin. Do join us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another News Bulletin. Until then, it's a bye from me and the rest of the team.